Hello, my loves, and welcome back to the Kim Circle podcast, a sanctuary of truth, transformation, and soul-centered living. I am your host, Jessa Francis, a trauma-informed yogi, a holistic shadow work coach, writer, and a guide for those ready to return to themselves. If you have been with me since season 1, thank you for staying close. If you're new here, I'm so honored that you have found this space. So much has shifted since the last season. Over the past few months, I have been deep in creation, reshaping the Kim Circle, not only as a podcast, but as a living, breathing community of healing and embodiment. I've built a new framework that now holds our membership space, one that helps people move from awareness into the integration of our shadow work and moving from self-doubt into deep self-trust. Because here's the truth. You can't just think your way into a new life. You have to live into it. And that means owning your thoughts, owning what you consume. And this season, we're going to be going deeper into the work of reclaiming your story, your energy, and your truth, into the real integration work that happens after the breakthroughs. We'll talk about shadow work. We'll talk about nervous system wisdom, sober living, creativity as medicine, and what it means to really wake up and live on purpose every single day. I'll also be sharing some updates on my latest offerings that includes the Kim Circle membership, my memoir writing one-on-one coaching programs. And why am I doing this? It's because, whether you're walking through a season of grief, growth, or reinvention, you do not have to do it alone. Community is so important. And it's time for us to go beyond just coping. It's time for us to finally embody freedom, presence, the peace that comes when you finally tap in and feel safe in your most authentic self. So if you're ready for that, then this season is for you. I say get cozy, take a deep breath in, come as you are. Let's drop in, rise together. Welcome to season 2. Today is Plant Magic Paradigm Shifts and the Blooming of Conscious Celebration. This past weekend, something extraordinary happened, and I need to tell you all about it. And it's not just because it was a beautiful experience and I want to brag, but because it has confirmed something that I have been feeling in my bones for over 5 years now. I had this past weekend, I had the profound honor of co-hosting a Plant Magic Elixir Bar at the Eudemonia Health and Wellness Summit in West Palm Beach. And when I say this weekend felt like a culmination of years of quiet, persistent work finally blooming into visibility, I mean that with every fiber of my being. My dear friend Anahata from Sip Plant Magic and we have been working in the alcohol-free beverage industry for over 5 years now. We have been the ones showing up at events, educating, offering alternatives, believing in a future that sometimes has felt far away. And this weekend, we got to witness that future arrive in real time. But before I tell you about the summit, I need you to understand the landscape we're standing in right now, because something seismic is shifting. Just recently, the Surgeon General came out with a statement that those of us in the mindful drinking and alcohol-free space have been saying for years. Alcohol is poison. It causes cancer, particularly breast cancer, in thousands of women across the world. Now, this isn't new information to us. We have watched the research, we've seen the effects in our own lives and in the lives of the people we love. But having the Surgeon General say it plainly, publicly, that is validation. That's momentum. That's the conversation getting louder in spaces that have the power to create real change. And here is what I want to be really clear about. This is not about judgment, okay? So if you're feeling like, oh, I still like to drink, I'm not here to shame anyone for their choices, right? I've been there. I've done the drinking. I've done it, right? This is about awareness. This is about having options. This is about creating a culture where choosing not to drink doesn't make you the odd one out. We're choosing beverages that actually support our well-being, and where doing that is celebrated, not questioned. Because here's what I've witnessed over these 5 years. People want this. They're craving it. They're tired of the morning after fog. They're exhausted by the cycle of using alcohol to cope, to celebrate, to connect, and then dealing with the physical, emotional, and spiritual fallout. So the demand is real. It's not niche anymore, right? And this weekend at Eudemonia, it proved that in the most beautiful way. So let me paint a picture of where we were this weekend. The Eudemonia Summit brought together some of the most influential voices in health and wellness. Dr. Andrew Huberman, Dr. Mark Hyman, Rich Rold, Jeff Krasno, Naveen Jain. I mean, these are people who are shaping the conversation around optimal health, longevity, consciousness, and what it means to truly thrive in these bodies that we have been given. And many of these voices have spoken openly about the detrimental effects of alcohol. They've shared the research. They've been honest about their own journeys with it. So being in that space, serving elevated, intentional, plant-based elixirs to people who are already tuned into optimal wellness, it felt like coming home. And Anahata and I created this Plant Magic Elixir Bar featuring adaptogens, nootropics, kava, and just electrolytes. We showcase brands I absolutely love and believe in. Brands like Curious Elixirs, All the Bitter, Drink Domo, Parch. These aren't just alcohol-free drinks. These are sophisticated, complex, beautifully crafted beverages that offer something alcohol never could. Actual benefits, mood boosting, gut healthy, immunity supporting, stress reducing, consciousness expanding. We weren't just offering people an alternative to alcohol, we were offering them an upgrade. And the response was amazing. It was everything I've been dreaming of and working toward. People would approach the bar and they were curious, right? Maybe a little skeptical, and they'd try something and their whole face would light up. Wait, there's no alcohol? Well, what's in this? Where can I buy this? Why don't more places offer this? Exactly. Why don't more places offer this? There were just so many smiles and so much genuine excitement, so much relief in people's eyes when they realized that they could have a sophisticated, delicious, ritual feeling beverage, that experience, right, without the alcohol. that they didn't have to choose between participating in celebration and honoring their body, right? And what struck me most was this. These weren't people who needed convincing. These were people who were already living consciously, already making intentional choices about what they put in their bodies. They were ready for this. They've been waiting for this. The gap isn't in demand. The gap is in access, right? And this is where I need to get really honest with you about something that has been frustrating me for years. As a yogi, as a shadow work coach, as a ceremonialist, right? Someone who leads ceremony, who holds sacred space, as someone who's dedicated my life to helping people return to themselves and live in deeper alignment, I have to say this. I don't want to see alcohol served after yoga classes anymore. I don't want booze at healing ceremonies. I don't want to walk into a wellness event, a longevity summit, a spiritual gathering, spaces that are supposed to be dedicated to our highest good, and still see alcohol being normalized, celebrated, and pushed. The cognitive dissonance is staggering. Talking about optimal health and then serving poison. We're guiding people through breath work to regulate their nervous systems and then offering them a substance that dysregulates it. We're preaching presence, consciousness, and embodiment, and then providing a tool for numbing and escaping. It doesn't make sense. And yet, it's still happening everywhere. And I get it. Okay, I do. I understand that alcohol is glamorized. It is deeply woven into our social fabric. I understand that, it's how we have learned to celebrate, to relax, to connect. I'm not naive to the cultural conditioning that we're up against. I am prior military. I grew up with construction worker parents. I understand. But listen, we are at a turning point. The research is out. The conversation is shifting. People are waking up. And those of us holding wellness spaces, spiritual spaces, healing spaces, we have a responsibility to lead this shift, not lag behind it. This isn't about taking away joy or celebration, okay? It is not. It is not about lack or scarcity at all. This is about abundance. This is about choosing love. It's about redefining what celebration can look like when it's not tethered to a substance that harms us. So through my work with Untoxicated, I carry this vision, okay? To see half of every bar across the world offering elevated alcohol-free options, not just mocktails, not just the predictable version of cocktails that make you feel like you're missing out. I'm talking about thoughtfully crafted, adaptogenic, immunity-boosting, clean alternatives that actually support our holistic well-being. Beverages that, can help us celebrate and feel good the next morning. Drinks that support our gut health, our mental clarity, our emotional regulation. Options that meet us where we are and lift us higher. This is the future I'm building toward. And this weekend showed me it's not far off. It's really not a far off dream. It's happening now. The bloom is here. But we need more. We need more. We need more bars willing to invest in quality alcohol-free options. We need more establishments understanding that this is not a trend. This is a movement. We need more spaces where choosing the nourishing option is easy, celebrated, and normal. And most importantly, we need to shift the cultural narrative from alcohol-free as deprivation to alcohol-free as elevation, as empowerment, as a choice that is rooted in self-love and consciousness. And this is where everything comes together, because my work with Intoxicated isn't separate from my work that I do with the Kim Circle. They are intimately connected, right? So the Kim Circle is about helping people move from awareness into embodiment. It's about the integration work that happens after the breakthroughs. It's about owning your thoughts, reclaiming your energy, right? Living into the truth of who you really are. And here's what I've learned through my own journey and through working with hundreds of people in their healing. You can't just think your way into a new life. You have to live into it, right? That means looking at why we're reaching for alcohol in the first place. What are we trying to cope with? What are we trying to escape? What are we afraid to feel? When we do the inner work, the shadow work, the nervous system healing, the story reclamation, right? We naturally start gravitating toward what truly nourishes us. The desire to numb shifts into a desire to feel. The need to escape transforms into a commitment to be present. So the Plant Magic Elixir Bar isn't just about serving drinks. It's about offering a different pathway entirely. One where we can still gather, still celebrate, still experience joy and connection, but in a way that honors our whole being, body, mind, and spirit. This is what conscious living looks like. Not perfection, not restriction, but intentionally, right? Awareness embodied into action. And when I watched people at the Eudemonia this weekend light up over these beverages, when I saw them asking questions and getting curious and feeling empowered, I saw the integration happening in real time. I saw people choosing themselves. I saw people recognizing that they deserve options that support their highest good. And that's the world that I'm working to create, not just through what I offer, right? But through how I live, through the choices I make, through the spaces I refuse to compromise in. And, here's what I know to be true. We're ready for this shift. We are. The culture is catching up to what many of us have already been living. Anahata and I have been building this, like I said, for over 5 years. She's been sober for 9 years. We have been the early adopters. Curious Elixirs has been around for 10 years now, right? We're the educators. We're the ones holding space for a future that we have believed in, even when, let me tell you, even when it felt really lonely. And now I feel the bloom happening. I feel the opening. I feel the permission to step forward in this bigger, bolder way than I ever have before. This isn't just about beverages. This is about cultural transformation. This is about redefining celebration, connection, consciousness. This is about creating spaces where those elevated choice is an easy choice. It's easy. And I'm inviting you into this vision with me. Whether you're someone who's been sober for years, someone who's just sober curious, or someone who's just questioning your relationship with alcohol, or even someone who just wants more options, that could support your well-being, there is a place for you in this movement, because ultimately this is about freedom to choose what serves you, freedom to celebrate without compromise, freedom to show up fully present for your one precious life. And that's worth fighting for. That's worth building toward. That's worth the years of persistent, patient work. The demand is here. The options are expanding. The conversation is shifting. And now we just need to keep going. Just keep showing up. Keep offering the alternatives. Keep creating the world we want to live in. If today's conversation has stirred something in you, and if you're feeling called to experience, more, to explore your relationship with substances, if you want to look into your relationship with celebration, with, you want to step into more conscious consumption, you want to live consciously, deeply, I would love to support you in that journey. The Kim Circle membership is where this transformation comes alive through community. You'll join our framework that moves you from connection to awareness to implementation and embodiment to manifestation, momentum, right? We do the real integration work, right? So if you're ready, maybe for that, or even for one-on-one support, I offer my memoir writing, my holistic shadow work coaching, my personalized programs that include that deep coaching. You get so much out of this, and the sanctuary, right? That you need to reclaim your story, to reframe, to rewrite that story with love and protection. If you would love to learn more, I would love to have you visit thekimcircle.com. That's TheKimCircle.com. You can also follow my work with Untoxicated on Instagram at untoxicated.world to stay connected to this conscious beverage movement, to learn about the brands, events, resources that support the mindful drinking and alcohol-free living. And one of the biggest things you can do if you want to be a part of this movement, make the demand clear. When you go to the bar, when you go to the restaurant, let them know. I want more options. I want adaptogenic options. I want immunity boosting options. And tell them about Curious Elixirs. Tell them about all the bitter. Tell them about parch. Tell them about these drinks so that they can get them on the menu. Okay. And yeah, send them my way. Send them my way, because I'm your girl. And trust me, I would be more than excited to talk to them. So thank you. Thank you for joining me in this sacred space today. Thank you so much to Anahata, to Chef Johanna at Ama, and to the Eudemonia Summit. Thank you to all the presenters and all the other people out there that are doing this beautiful work. I'm just sending everyone so much love, so much gratitude right now. Thank you for being willing, to be open and courageous and fighting for this change. Before we close, as always, I want to offer you a deep breath right here, right now, wherever you are. I invite you to take a deep breath with me. Inhale, breathe in. As you do, take in everything that you had just heard and let it settle. And then breathe out. Release anything. Release what doesn't serve you. But hold on to whatever wisdom or recognition stirred within you in our time together. Soften your shoulders, soften your jaw, feel your breath. Your story matters. The path that you've walked, the lessons you've learned, the person you're becoming, all of it matters. And whether you share it through writing, conversation, or simply by living more authentically, embodying your truth, the world needs you. It needs your particular way of seeing and being. And remember, you can't just think your way into that new life. You have to live it. And that includes examining what you consume and why. Until next time, keep dropping in. Rise with me. This is the Kim Circle podcast, and I hope to see you in Sanctuary. Talk soon.